why isn't Wagyu beef credible yet? And so it's kind of an interesting topic because if you think about it, people. Well, let's start with this. When I'm holding up a steak, when you see like a steak influencer holding up a steak, or somebody's at a barbecue going, "Look at this steak," why do people get excited? They get excited about it because of.
So most of the times, like how big it is, right? You're gonna show up to a barbecue as the fucking G that brings a 4-pound tomahawk. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you just paid for about 20% of that inedible bone.
Is there? But what else?
Straight up marbling.
The marbling,
dude.
right? Like nobody's holding up. Like we had a great grass fed conversation, and Wagyu grass fed is different than non-Wagyu grass fed. But when someone's holding up just like a grass-fed steak that has no marbling, like you don't see people like, holy shit, look at this steak,
Look how lean this is.
Yeah, like you don't get that excited. So it's like it's the marbling, and so it's funny because everybody wants that. Most people, I'd say, want that, and so they want better beef until you tell them, oh, well, you know what, this is Wagyu and it's $50 a pound. They're like, whoa, I don't really believe that. That's just kind of a fancy name for that.
What is this, American?
So like, for me, it's people will spend, $60, $100, $500 on a bottle of wine. They'll spend $200 on a nice bottle of bourbon. They'll spend $300 on sneakers, but they don't believe that Wagyu is worth it, right? And you can like those other things and not want to spend that much money on meat, totally. Sure. But it's funny that, like, I don't look at a pair of sneakers and go, holy shit, that is fucking ridiculous. I cannot believe that people spend that money. Holy crap, you're an idiot. That's not real, dude. I bought $60 sneakers at the mall the other day. Why are you buying $300? Yeah, like that's a scam. That's ridiculous, So it's funny, like, I don't see that. And a lot of the is Wagyu credible conversation started with, I texted our master sommelier friend, Chris Tangi, who was on the podcast,
Tangi.
Like a year ago, 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
Broke down some amazing wines for us. Master Somm, great dude. And I said, Chris, when you're talking about a really cool bottle of wine that's coming out and it's expensive, more expensive than the average consumer usually spends, do people just shit on it and call you an arrogant elitist, or do they just kind of pass by? And he's like, no, like the people who are excited for it, they'll comment, but the people who don't really care just kind of pass by. And I'm like, that's so weird, man.
It's kind of the same. But we're also talking about a very old world tradition.
That's right. That's a great point. That's a great point.
Right? We're talking about centuries of winemakers in France.
Yeah, and regulation.
Bordeaux blends and all the beautiful valleys and everything. Like eons of time have these people been growing grapes and making wine and doing this thing, right? So
yes, correct.
They're bona fide.
Totally agree.
People agree, and they'll even see a wine label, right? That's almost like the marbling of a beef, right?
Yeah, right.
They'll see the label and be like, "Oh, that's it.
That's the one.
That's a fucking. I gotta get that, right?" Even if it's a $95 bottle of wine, you're gonna get 2 glasses and share it with somebody else.
Exactly.
So we're talking about old world shit, where I'd say that we're still kind of in a new world.
Very much.
Right.
Very much
for the Wagyu beef industry.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's been going on for a while, but it's still
comparatively.
Comparatively, yeah, for sure.
It's not really.
So I think that the proof is in the pudding. When people actually do believe us, finally, and listening to this podcast, and go out or come here and buy a steak and take it home and try it. Like how many freaking Zabatons do we sell?
Oh my god, dude! Like we can't even keep it in stock anymore.
I'm probably gonna put like 30 pounds of Zabaton steaks in the case this week, and they'll sell out.
They'll probably sell it by Friday.
They'll sell out.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But that's just because we have pounded into these people that like don't believe us.
Yeah,
they're like, holy shit.
Yeah, and they only get their meat here now.
Only here.
Yeah. No. So you brought up a good point. So yes, those are the bourbons, the wines.
Old world.
Very much old world. Yep. Wagyu, that's a great point. Why isn't it credible yet? Well, it is still new.
It's kind of young.
Yeah, so let's hop into that, man. Like, for me, the Wagyu gets watered down a little bit, right? Like the whole name gets watered down. We talked about this on the last podcast. The burgers, people, the fake menus. Some of like the jerky at gas stations. You'll kind of start to see a little bit like that. Some of that gets watered down.
I saw Yellowstone Ranch from the show Yellowstone.
Yeah.
There's Yellowstone Wagyu jerky at Safeway.
At Safeway,
I was like. And I love that show.
Oh, it
resonates.
Is it?
Dude, I fucking love it.
I mean, is it?
What
kind of Wagyu?
I'll buy one next time.
Yeah, we should have been. Yeah,
we'll
taste
it.
That.
We'll eat it here on the podcast.
So a lot of people have had a bad first experience. So this is kind of what makes it hard to believe, right? Some people have had a bad first experience where it's overcooked, it's undercooked, or overpriced, or mislabeled. Some people are just really skeptical of the fat content. They don't understand it. They're like, this looks different from other cows. Must be wrong, or must be fake or genetically modified, right?
Yeah, right.
I've heard that a lot, or people are like, it's too tender. I don't like that. I like a little bit more chew.
Completely.
I get that. And do you think America is used to cheaper beef?
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean,
just in general.
Funny enough, like, I kind of want to do like a little taste test challenge.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll bring in just like 3 people.
Yep.
Random, right?
Okay.
Like, maybe even blindfolded. Who knows? But I won't tell them what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll bring in, say, a CN, a specialist in everything that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And then maybe just kind of a regular dude that buys meat here, and I'll put a corn crammed, finished steak on a plate. Just because that's what everybody eats, and that's what everybody's eating. That's what they're used to, and that flavor is recognizable. Mm-hmm. And I've said it before in the past, like, I can smell the difference.
Yeah,
I can.
Yeah,
I straight up can. Like, I'm not lying. Like, thanks, Mom. Got a super sniffer.
Hey, well, I told you when I put that grass fed on the grill, I was like, whoa, dude, I could tell this.
Yep.
You're right. You're right. No, we should do that taste test. I think that's a good idea. We'll film it, do a taste test, have Wagyu, have corn fed, choice.
Yeah.
And maybe something else too. Maybe
like
even a grass fed in there.
All the same cut.
Yeah. See what
people like.
What they like, what they don't like, if they can tell, if they can pick the Wagyu. Let's do that. That would be great, because I think that will show people, like, you should be able to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's the fat, dude. I can smell the fat.
Yeah.
I know the difference between a corn-fed, a dairy cow.
Oh yeah.
And then a Wagyu, because
mm-hmm.
when I do, even like roasting a brisket or something, if I'm going to do like a braised brisket, if I do a Wagyu, I can smell it instantly. Like, oh, time to pull the brisket. Like, it's just like, money.
I love it, dude. I love it. All right. Another thing, like, we kind of talked about this, the comparison culture, right? Like, people understand wine and whiskey and sneakers. They understand that culture. There's not really a huge Wagyu culture yet. It's still like, 1% of all American beef. So it's still very small, very new. But, I think people, for some reason, you understand that whiskey, like, let's say that Sarah brings in a really nice aged whiskey. Okay, well, why does it cost more money? Because it is a better product, right? It takes a long time to age that and to hold those barrels for 10 years.
It evaporates.
It takes time and space. It evaporates. You lose a little bit of that. So all of that, it takes on more characteristics from the barrel. It's like I said, it's a better product. So all of that goes into being a more expensive bourbon. Now, when you talk about Wagyu, it takes longer to raise, right? The genetics are superior to start from. You can. I don't think you can argue that. Some people will, but it takes a lot longer. Like, we're talking like we're harvesting at 30 months rather than 14 or 16 months. There's a lot. Usually they're dry aged. You're going to lose a little bit of that product. So, like, to me, like, that is a good argument on like why you should kind of understand why it costs a little bit more and why there should be maybe a little more credibility, right? Because it takes longer. It's more superior product. You're gonna lose a little bit more. It's very scarce. It's only 1% of the. So it's like that's why you buy Jordans, right? I mean, like I said, I could go buy Nikes at Big Five Sporting Goods for $40, or I could buy a nice pair of Jordans for like $600 because it's scarce, right? There's not that many. Right?
Yeah. Ask our homies at Rush Hour over here.
I know. I've been in. But it's funny, but people don't walk into there and be like, all these shoes on your shelf are fucking fake and bullshit.
Bullshit.
You know, they don't do that same thing as they do with Wagyu. Like, people argue just constantly online when I post anything about Wagyu. It's hysterical to me, but they have no idea what they're talking about. And I'm like, dude, can you just Google it for a second, bro?
Right.
Like, just look for like 1 second. It's actually you'll be able to figure this out here. It's not hard, but.
The whole Wagyu watered down thing with the burgers, the fake menus, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I get it, but also, why are people trying to water it down? Because it's intriguing.
Because it's a better product.
It's intriguing too.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh shit, a Wagyu burger?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, it's tastes better. Why do people
know where your meat comes from, man? Ask the questions.
You know, that's what we got to, man. But how do you gain credibility, right? Because I mean, Starbucks went through like the same thing, obviously, right? That's a huge example of like people used to buy a can of Folgers for $15, $20. I don't even know how much a can of Folgers was back in the 90s, but
like $12.
$12, right?
Yeah.
It'll probably last you what, like 2 months of coffee for like $12.
My grandmother used to buy it.
Right? I mean, so did mine, of course. But now you're going in and you're spending $6, $7 every single day on coffee, right? In most places, $4 to $7.
Bro, that's killing me.
Yeah.
It is.
And it's like, you know, it does take time. Like when Starbucks first started, I'm sure that people said the same thing. Like, this is absolutely ridiculous, you know. But you're going for convenience. You're going for a better product, better than Folgers. At least we'll say that. You're going to, you know, you're meeting people. It's a place away from home. It's not a bar. That was like their whole thing, right? And so I don't know. With Wagyu, to me, it's the same thing. You're getting that better product, that better eating experience.
Maybe we should open a meat bar.
More health benefits. A meat bar, bro. We do have a fucking meat bar here. Jesus Christ. We do run a goddamn meat bar. But what else does it take to gain more credibility, right? More education, more real education, better first impressions, clear labels, which is coming out soon. You know, that'll help. At the time, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I always use, you know, coming from the cannabis industry, you know, like, 10, 11, 12 years ago, it was barely legal. You know, it was just medically legal. And back then, people would be like, oh, if you use cannabis, you're a dipshit, you're a dumbass, you're a stoner. This is like 10, 12 years ago, right? Maybe 15 at the max. But, it's and then within about 10 years after that, people are taking a CBD pill. People are taking gummies to go to sleep. You know, it's like it's almost like a normal thing in a lot of states. You know, until it gets federally legal. But I mean, it took 10 years from people saying that stuff makes you stupid to, hey, maybe there is some health benefits to this. Just a lot of education, a lot of people, a lot of word of mouth, right? So like the more people we can get to try Wagyu beef the right way, maybe they can tell their friends and they can tell their friends. More people that like and share this podcast with somebody that you maybe argue with, like and share this podcast, share it with your friends, start that conversation. I just heard from somebody yesterday that she was teaching her mom about Wagyu beef from all of our reels and podcasts. It's like, I love you guys, man. Like,
dope.
Yeah, I was like, thank you.
That's great.
Yeah, so
I think slow and steady wins the race here.
Yeah, it does.
And continue to do what we do and over-educate. I mean, we're just trying to educate, but for a lot of common people, this is probably a lot of information to be skeptical about and digest and like, But do your own math. Do your own homework. I mean, listen to what we're saying. Disagree with us all you want. But
look into it. And maybe go to a farm. You know?
Real.
Go to a farm, go to a Wagyu farm that you can actually visit. You can go to their website, just learn a little bit about them. Order some meat from like a local Wagyu producer or from a local rancher if you're skeptical. Because I think we're all skeptical of food. I mean, that's another thing,
or
right?
even some of the meat boxes that, you know, some of our past homies we've had on the podcast. We'll send it to your front door.
Yeah.
We got
Plum Creek.
We've got some
from
Wagyu hot dogs the other day, some Wagyu bacon from our homie over there.
I know. And we're going to talk about those hot dogs later.
Our guy down in Chehalis sent us some steaks.
Yeah, River Valley.
They'll ship it to you.
Yeah.
I dare you. Try it.
No, I mean, that's a good way to support local farms, support local Wagyu ranchers. And also, I think there's a lot of stigma around our food and not believing where things come from, right? Because, I mean, like what? Like product of the USA beef means it's just packaged here. You know, so it's like there isn't a lot of trust. So like that's another thing that like in food, the credibility, it's hard to
even those labels of Oregon beef, Washington beef, all that stuff. Like people don't know, and we didn't know for the longest time until we were properly educated on it. These animals could be grown in freaking Hawaii.
Yep, or Brazil,
and sent over here. Finished for the last 2 weeks of their life, and it's now labeled Washington beef.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
There's a lot of bullshit out there.
Yeah, and that makes it hard for ranchers in general, like local ranchers,
does.
to be like, well, no, mine's actually Washington beef,
and thus it makes it hard for us to tell people that Wagyu's not a fucking scam.
Exactly, and that's it, man. It's hard. It's the food industry, the big ag, the big beef industry. It does make it hard.
Bro, I was in such a hurry the other day. I was at fucking a big food chain. We'll just call it that because I don't like to name names. But
yeah.
And I was like looking at my watch. I'm like, do I have time to finish shopping? Because I had to get my kids from school. And there was a package of ground turkey. Mm-hmm. And it was on special for $10. And it was like, it's like 2 pounds, dude. And
okay.
My kids eat a lot of ground turkey. We do tacos and like whatnot, but
yeah,
I usually buy the organic and the never evers and that whole label. I look at my poultry labels. Yeah. Look at your poultry labels.
That's the hardest one.
But I was in such a hurry. I was just like,
no.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I bought it.
Yeah. Oh.
I had to, dude.
Could you tell?
I haven't cooked yet. I'm afraid, dude.
Go back and buy another one. Just toss it, dude.
Feed it to my dog.
Yeah, that's a good idea, man. So, at the end of the day, man, like it takes time. It takes more education. Like I said, let's share this podcast, our reels, so you can get out there and start good conversations. And hopefully the credibility starts to come in the next, 3 to 5 years. Hopefully in 3 to 5 years, people are like, oh, you know what? Yeah, it is just better beef.
Those guys were right.
Maybe I still can't afford it. Like, you can't afford it every night. That's totally fine. But I just don't think you should be so confidently wrong about it. Confidently wrong, man.
You don't have to buy a fucking ribeye.
I know.
Every time. You don't.
Yeah, I know, dude. You just showed me a nice $19 ab. Fuck.
Insane.
Dude, so nice. All right. It's credible, bro. Fucking believe us. Let's fucking go.